Okay, today's vlog, I decided to try something a little new because I listened to the one before, and I'm not sure. I like the road noise a little bit, and I know this is an electric, so there's not a lot of road noise. It's mostly just kind of like the tires and stuff like that, which I guess is road noise, but there's no engine noise, or not as much. So I liked that kind of ambient noise going on, but I felt like my voice, maybe I'm speaking too quietly, I don't know, but maybe also just trying to get the sound over the air off the microphone on the phone is not quite the right way to go. So instead of that, I've got my DJI mic, one of the older ones, not the new one that came with my DJI Pocket 3 Pro bundle, but we got a couple of mics from before that actually plugs right into the phone, so I can see the levels and all that kind of stuff. And it'd be a good use case for this to put the mics on the phones themselves, rather than pairing up the DJI mic. Was it mic 2 or mic 3? This might be mic 1. I don't remember which mic's mic. But anyway, so that first video that I posted was a little bit of a challenge. I intended to put it on one of my other channels, and it would not go on. So I created a whole new channel just for this. The original channel was called Driver's Seat, and I don't know if I mentioned that in the actual video. This one is called Eyes on the Road because, for the most part, I'm keeping my eyes on the road, all right, because of if I'm driving. If I'm stopped somewhere, it might be a different story. Like, and I will try to throw in some video here and there, or some images, one way or the other, of the where I'm at. Like, for example, the other day I was in Seattle and I went up to Cary Park. Now, you may not know where Cary Park is, but you've definitely, if you've seen any posters of Seattle, you've definitely seen the view from Cary Park. It looks right down on the Space Needle, and you can see the town behind it. And on a clear day, actually, you can get a pretty good shot of Mount Rainier in the background. And if you have good lenses, you can zoom in and get that kind of forced perspective type thing, which is always a lot of fun. That would be a good spot to go if you are in town and you want to get a good, postcard worthy shot. It's definitely a good place to go. Of course, it's maybe overdone. A lot of the places that you see and hear about in these travelogue videos are the places that are overdone. The off the beaten path places are also fun. Those, when folks make those videos, those are also fun to see. But here's the thing. A few years ago, it's been 10 years ago already. Time flies. 10 years ago, my wife and I went to Italy, went on a tour, and that tour went to all of the places that you would expect. It went to the Colosseum. It went to the we walked through the ruins of the Forum. We ended up going to Florence, or Firenze as they call it, and went to see all of the artwork there, and ate mountains and mountains of gelato and all of that. And we went to the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Now, everybody says, well, that's just a tourist trap. Oh, spoiler alert, yes, it's a tourist trap. There's not much to see there other than the tower that's leaning slightly. There's other things there that, people get a kick out of. The place where the building where they baptize people. It's a big building for baptisms, just, right outside of the cathedral there, not far from the tower itself. And those are fun places. But then you have a lot of other fun things to do when you go to these tourist traps. one of the fun things to do is just kind of to walk down the central lane on your way from where all of the buses go, and you can just kind of see the people lining the sides of the streets watching for opportunities to pick pockets or to scam or something like that. That's part of travel. It's always been part of travel. There's nothing new about that. But being travel aware is fun, and watching this stuff get set up is it's too bad that it happens, but it happens, and it's always happened. So we might as well get some enjoyment out of it, like watching these guys, just kind of looking for the easy marks. It's just kind of, maybe that's just my weird sense of humor. But anyway, so you can do the same thing. You come to Seattle, you go to the Space Needle. It's it's cheesy, but it's nice. It's a fun time. If you've never done it, it's worth doing. Like any place, though, if the best views are not from the place that are sold as the best view, because you can't see it. You can't see the Space Needle from the Space Needle. You can't see the Eiffel Tower from the Eiffel Tower, right? Sears Tower from the Sears Tower. No, you got to go to the places where you can see them in the skylines, which is what we like to do. But go there. Maybe if you have a little extra money you want to spend, eat there, because there's a restaurant there. It's kind of fun. You're sitting there eating dinner as it rotates around, and I think you can get pretty quickly get a 360 view, and go to Pike Place Market. That's a fun place to go. I've heard that people who live in the downtown area will use that market as their local market. That's cool. Seems a little on the spendy side to me, but okay, you're living right downtown. That's great. Go to the Gum Wall. The Gum Wall is disgusting, but it's fun. It's stupid and it's fun. People, it's in Pike Place Market. It's down on they call Post Alley. It's lower Post Alley. You just go down the stairs from where they're throwing the fish. Can't miss it. I mean, there's always a crowd there waiting for those guys to throw a fish. So you go down there, and you look at all the gum on the wall. Now they clean it occasionally, so that we get a fresh start. But that's the place where people like to go and stick their gum on the wall and take pictures next to it. It's an oddity, right? It's just a weird thing that people do when they come to Seattle. You can go to Fremont, go see the troll. There's a troll under the bridge in Fremont. That's a lot of fun. Fremont is a pretty quirky, kind of cool place. It's not Fremont, California. It's Fremont across the bridge from Seattle. And backing up a little bit, you can go to Mopop, Museum of Pop Art. It used to be, this is a Paul Allen joint. He started it as Experience Music Project. And sometime after he passed away, I think it was after he passed away, they changed it to the Museum of Pop Art, because even back when it was the Music Experience, there was a lot of other things that Paul Allen was really into, like sci-fi and those kinds of things. And so it morphed into being just mostly about pop culture. Though I think there's still all of the original exhibits that were focused. He was a big fan of Jimi Hendrix, and so there's a lot of Jimi Hendrix stuff there. You'll find all of the local band type things. Well, Jimi Hendrix was local as well, and then Nirvana, and I don't know if the Venturers are there. Probably something about the Venturers, Tacoma band. But anyway, those are the fun things to do if you come to Seattle and the Seattle area. There's also, if you are a Twin Peaks fan, not far out of town, in a little town called Fall City. Between Fall City and Snoqualmie, there's a there's a falls called Snoqualmie Falls, and they have a hotel right at the top of the falls, and that was the hotel that they used for the Twin Peaks television series back from the 80s and 90s. Yeah, if you know, you know, right? Okay. And it's a great place to go. I'll just put a little video here so you can see it. Got so much video of that fall, those falls. What else is there that's around here? You'll see, up north we have the Skagit Valley, which does a big tulip festival every year. And the tulips grow, they get harvested, the bulbs get harvested and sold, and it's one of the big major crops from that valley. And then there's other things. There's the Boeing Museum is actually quite fun. If you go up to Everett and want to go through the factory, there's factory tours. It's quite interesting to see that, if that's something that you're interested in. Anyway, lots of things to do in this area, and I might use this vlog to go around and see some of them. See any updates of stuff that's going on. I'm sitting about, I don't know, 300 yards from the Microsoft campus. When I come and I park here, and people living nearby, it's really interesting. Folks who live nearby the Microsoft campus like to get an Uber or a Lyft, actually usually a Lyft, to go to Bellevue to go work at Amazon. And a lot of folks who live in Bellevue like to get an Uber to come to Redmond to work at Microsoft. It's really odd. It's just, you just swap places. And what else can I tell you about right now? Not much right now. So I might come on a little bit later and add some things, some commentary about what's going on in the world. Maybe this might be a good time to talk about my opinions about what's happening with AI, robotaxis, specifically Waymo, and the future of this job, but also the future of jobs, because I have some opinions, and I've had a lot of conversations in this car about the coming AI dominance. Isn't that fun? All right, so I was going to start talking about AI and stuff a little earlier, and then I got a couple of rides right as I was starting. Now it's the end of the day, so I should not have to worry about that right now. Now I'm just downtown Seattle, and I got to figure out, I just have to focus on getting out of here and getting home. It's about 4:18, and I am going south. All right. I'm not sure that was the legalist thing, but that's fine. Anyway, I think I'm good. All right, so I got to go to I-5 south. So what was I talking about? I was actually discussing AI, and it's interesting because this last trip that I had from Redmond to Seattle was a young man who is an engineer. He's only like about 26 years old, and he's been in Seattle for about a year. And we got to talking about AI, of course, as a lot of tech conversations steer that direction because it's changing their world. A lot of folks there's more than one person in the car today that was talking about how, either to me or on the phone, about how their jobs are changing, because there's a lot of engineers here. There's a lot of folks that do coding, and more those that coding that they're doing is being done by AI agents. So they're able to let's straighten that out a little bit. So they're able to ask these agents or give these agents prompts to do things in whatever code stack that they're working in, and it'll go do it. And so it automates a lot of their work. I heard a guy talking to one of his friends down in California about how AI, whatever tool they're using, I don't know which one it was, maybe Gemini, I don't know, but whatever tool that they were using, he saw it coming in 2019 when he really stopped and thought about all of the things that the engineers did that were repetitive, that were easy to automate. They were already automating them. And so now the agents can do that with a lot more accuracy and autonomy. So it's getting to the point now where a lot of these guys haven't actually done any real coding for a very long time. And so, or at least not the extensive kind of sit down and grind through and get into that coding flow, right? And I think so it begs the question, so what can't we automate right now? Doing AI for software is the obvious solution. That's the obvious use case. I know that AI can rewrite or summarize, or it can transcode and summarize entire meetings. There's a lot of things that it can do that are either eliminating jobs because one person can do the work of 10 people, or the other thing that it can do is that is what it's doing, is rationalizing the jobs down to fewer folks. But there's another thing that it can do, and that when you match that up with robotics, is it can put whole factories out, the people in the factories, it can put them out of work. It can, and so let me see. So the not going to say his name, but the CEO of Uber, okay, was giving an interview where he said 80% of jobs in the future are going to be replaced by AI. 80%. So what are those people going to be doing? His response was, work harder. Work harder at what? You just said 80% of the jobs are going to be done by robots and AI. Well, all right. So we have to find a way, obviously, of making money. And is that making art? Is it making content? Is it advertising? How is that not? That's also being replaced by AI. So, that won't work eventually, especially when AI gets good enough at doing it. At some point, we won't be having incomes. So the thought is, well, we'll get a guaranteed minimum income. Well, that might be, the guaranteed minimum income might be just our income. That's just what it is. There's no other way of making money, because anything else is being taken care of by AI and robotics. Begs the question, these folks that are putting all the money into AI and the server farms out there, the data centers, pouring billions and billions and trillions of dollars into this, causing this what people fear is an AI bubble. I don't think it's an AI bubble, or at least not in the way we're thinking about it. It's an AI bubble in the sense that once it actually reaches its zenith, and 80% of us, or 90% of us, or even 75% of us are out of jobs, who are these people going to sell their stuff to? They can sell some of them to us if it's a guaranteed minimum income, but that is literally just taking money out of their pockets, putting it into ours, because they're the only people that are going to have any taxable incomes, putting that into our pockets and then putting it right back into their pockets. It becomes a kind of communism, and I think was it Sam Altman? Somebody called it techno-communism as a thing to look forward to, as a kind of utopia. Maybe the original communism utopia, but now instead of the weak part of that being the human being, because humans don't like doing work, that's not going to benefit themselves, directly. Communism fails because you can't get everybody to buy in, right? Because there will be the folks that don't do the work, but to each according to their need, right? And their need might be strong, and so everybody has to work for those needy folks, and so it fails. It falls apart. Well, if the worker is actually a robot, well, you solve that problem, right? If it's an autonomous robot that's smart, let's say artificially intelligent, then you have a situation where you can have a actual working communism. So if you have an actual working communism, then there's no room for Sam Altman. There's no room for Elon Musk. There's no room for any of these oligarchs. We don't need them. We can't have them, right? Because all of their money has to be divided up evenly amongst us all. And the robots do all of our work, and we just get stuff for free. You get hungry? Well, you just go down and, actually you don't even have to go down. You just ask your robot to go down, pick something up, and bring it to you. And the robots are out in the fields picking the fruits. The robots are, finding ways of raising the food that we eat. They're building the buildings, cleaning the buildings. They're doing everything for us. We don't have to do anything. And so that's the world that AI and robotics brings us to. And I think we're getting there faster than we expect. Just in how fast AI has moved in the last year or two, let alone when it was, really first being developed, but just the kind of the leaps and bounds that it has made. The next 10 years, I don't think it's going to take 10 years. I honestly do not think it's going to take 10 years. Let's talk in a year, and we'll see where we're at. Maybe in a year, this entire vlog will be completely automated. Maybe in months. It could be right now, actually. There are decent, completely AI-generated vlogs right now. At any rate, so that's the AI thing I wanted to talk about, and of course, this affects me personally probably way more, way quicker than that. We all have to have our exit plans from this rideshare business because Waymos are out there. I saw one today. I'll put a picture of it right here. I saw one today right in front of me, driving in Bellevue. I don't know if it had anybody in it. It successfully navigated the traffic light and changed lanes and did all the things it's supposed to do, and I wouldn't have been able to tell that somebody wasn't driving it if you had asked me. But there it was. And so that's, there's a lot of upside to the coming AI revolution. And we're only in the very beginnings of it. But I think that, like a tsunami, we're watching the water recede, and when it comes in, it's going to come in hard, and we're not ready for it. We're not ready for it personally, emotionally. We're not ready for it legally. Our legal system is not ready for it. So, more on that at some point. This vlog may not necessarily be about all that, but that's just kind of the kind of stuff that's going through my mind right now. And in the meantime, I am stuck in traffic. Seattle traffic this time of day, it's about 4:30, especially on a Friday, is a little bit of a bear trying to get out of town, and that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm on surface streets going through down Howell right now, and trying to get on I-5, which brings me to another topic about Seattle, is that Seattle folks for some reason get upset when people don't talk about their streets right. You can say, well, you're not a real Seattleite because you don't say I-5. You say the 5, right? And nobody who's from here says the 5. Nobody who's from here says the 520 or the 90. So I'm about ready to get on I-5 South. I'm going to get on 90 and head east towards Issaquah, where I will then head for home in Sammamish. You know, a lot of places in the country have to deal with, names that are hard to pronounce, and we're no different. We've got a bunch of names, and if you see them spelled, you wonder, well, why does it pronounce that way? Yeah, it just is. That's the way they decided to pronounce them, and whether they're indigenously correct or not, I don't know. Issaquah, maybe we mispronounce all kinds of. Seattle's a mispronunciation, so of an Indian name, the chief self, maybe I don't even know how it's originally supposed to be pronounced, but we call it Seattle. And well, here's a little picture of the chief. Anyway, for some reason they stuffed that statue down in almost where nobody would find it. Don't know why. Alright, so this traffic is not great. Alright, let's see. Up here, folks are going to try to merge over. It's a really weird kind of freeway here where you've got traffic that's trying to get off and go on the surface streets. You've got traffic that's trying to stay on the main line of I-5 heading south, and then, like for me, I'm trying to get to a spot where I could go I-5, but this will give me the opportunity to cut over onto 90 and to get down past the, whoops, that's not great. Oh, I almost saw an accident right there. The truck, so a lot of people pull out in front of trucks. Now, he was moving faster than he should have been, being a truck and knowing that it was going to take a long time for him to stop, but don't pull out in front of trucks. It's just not smart. So let me make sure I don't pull out in front of this guy. All right. I'm going to end this now. Who knows? Maybe this weekend I might actually have some time to do some editing and make sure that this is all coming out okay. Is it all coming out okay? I can't even tell. Anyway, I'm done. Until next time, keep your eyes on the road.